Hello, everybody. Welcome to this paint.net file that I have open. Uh, we're just gonna we're gonna draw some things because we can. Oh, wow, that was not what I wanted to do. We're gonna draw some countries because I felt like it. I want to. I don't know where I'm gonna start this civilization at. We can start in Egypt, Israel, Mesopotamia, down here in the Arabian Peninsula. This would kind of block them off because of the Arabian Desert. So I think we should start civilization. I'm gonna close my eyes and you know what? Sure. Let's nah nah that's a bit barbaric. I'm not gonna start them in Asia. Um, you know what, let's roll with Israel. Sounds maybe the Nile. The Nile's pretty good. All right, got this whole civilization here. They they farm and they do ancient things. They do a lot of farming, really. You know, they expand along the coastlines a little into Sinai, because that's what people do apparently early on. They migrate. All right, we have that little red nation there. You know, why don't we create a country in every single continent? I don't want to make one in Greece. You know, let's start them in Venice over here. That's big. Um, do I have a nice blue? Yeah, there we go. No blue civilization. Yeah. Uh huh. We're gonna go down Dalmatia, I guess. Wonderful. All right, let's put one in East Asia. You know, on the I think the Yellow River's here. I don't exactly know. I don't study ancient China. Let's put them around here though. Splendid. And let's get an American country too. Let's start them around here near Yucatan, Guatemala, kind of. Yeah, yeah, this is gonna be freaking cool. They're just gonna span across the coasts. All right, it's pretty cool. There we are. Hmm. Well, this Red Nation has to do something since they're the first ones. We're gonna take the rest of Sinai and start making a little bit more recognizable Egypt. Mm-hmm. That's red, all right. They own Israel now. That's pretty cool. There we are. Oh, what are the blues gonna do? Is we're gonna go all the way back to the Mediterranean over here. We're kind of Italian looking so far. So let's make another blue country. So why not? We can do whatever we want. Yep, it's pretty good. Ooh, it's a bit aggressive. Oh no, please don't. Please do not do that. Kind of a Roman country here. There we are. Pretty precise border. Anyways, these Roman fellers are just gonna keep expanding down Italy. And let's push these guys back down Dalmatia. And why not create some French boys up here? Yeah. Maybe they're kind of English French. You know, put some in Cornwall and southern England and Kent right here. Connect them. Yeah, that's cool. Alright. Hmm. Looks like the Reds are getting pretty big. That's not good. They're a little too big, so we're gonna break off Israel here. We're gonna go make their own country. Now, seafaring isn't really easy, but they can land in Cyprus. They know about it, you know. Alrighty. Well, the Egyptians realized maybe Asia is the best way to go. So let's continue down where we know Africa. Yeah, these borders are going to be very unnatural. I'm gonna. It's probably my excuse is they're early civilizations. They're gonna look ugly. So yeah. Why don't we create a pink kind of Indian country? And then I think that's gonna be the last origin point, really. The rest can kind of spread off. It's not. I don't think that's where the Indus River is, but who cares? All right. Let's let the Chinese do a little action. I'm just gonna refer to them as Chinese because that's basically what they are. Alrighty. Little dynasty going on here. You know, maybe even some. Ooh, wow. Maybe even some of them went over to Korea and started doing some things, and then they landed in Japan. Huh? Yeah. But they kind of forgot about Korea. It's gone. It's unfortunate. Kind of stuck on Japan now. It's not cool. I want to be stuck there. Well, there's the Japanese. They're just Chinese nobles, I guess. As for the Americans, let's just keep moving them around the Yucatan Peninsula. We'd have another little similar country form. Is that too similar of a color? Yeah, it is. Let's change it just a little bit. Yeah, yeah. You can see the difference. Alright, we got some rivaling Yucatan nations. They're not really good at establishing borders, so I'm gonna leave them ugly for now. Unlike the Europeans, who are all rich and ever expanding. Alright, I guess these guys are going to be kind of Celtic and kind of Celtic country. You know, they're making landfall all around the British Isles and even Ireland. Yeah, there's roughly around like a few million people on Earth now. Let's have the blueies go more down here. Yeah, I'm just gonna call these guys Rome now because it's basically what they are. You know, there's a few Romans just decided to set sail and take over Corsica and Sardinia. And, maybe even a little bit of. Nah, that's just Carthage at that point. Let's not do that. Anyways, these guys basically conquered a Italian peninsula. It's pretty cool. Hmm. Some orange country here. Why not? Oh, wait. They kind of claimed Sardinia for themselves. Oh, well, that's just Carthage again. Dang. I can't win here. Anyways, Cyan country. I guess I'll call them Venusians. Is that Dalmatians? Italians? Whatever. They're ever expanding. Anyways, Red Country is just continuing around the Anatolian Peninsula. It's cool. Looking all big there. Anyways, the Egyptians are also expanding quite a bit. It's been a while since we've touched up on them, so they're doing a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Got quite the empire over there. Hope it doesn't collapse. Anyways, the Indians are ever expanding. Let's do a little fill. Oh, that just filled in the entire Earth. Okay. Anyways, Chinese are also expanding. It's a little familiar, doesn't it? Do you notice? Okay, you can't. Anyways, the Japanese are also expanding. Let's just get a bigger brush here. They've basically taken all, except the Arctic kind of up here. It's pretty cold up there. You can see why they wouldn't want to go. Anyways, a few Chinese fellers decide to hike out and start a new civilization down here, kind of into China, Thailand. What's this peninsula called again? Whatever. Who cares? Anyways, there's some fellows over here now. I'll set the basis for Southeast Asian Australia. We haven't done much about South America. Let's have some brown fellas. Yeah. As for South American tradition, they're going to be very long. There you go. There they are. Alright, got quite a few early civilizations here. Anyways, back to the Brits, the Celts, whatever you want to call them. They're taking over more of the British coast. And going over here. Around Ireland. And more of this territory over here. I forgot what it's called. Up into Yorkshire. And they're also expanding on Norman coast. There we are. As for the Italians, they're also expanding. Because why wouldn't they? Anyways, I think it's time for a little warfare, isn't it? And of course, the first people to wage war with each other are going to be the Europeans. I guess we'll be a kind of free for all here. So these little blue fellas down here are just going to take over Sicily. Now it's time for. Well, we're going to take turns with who does what. These islanders are just going to make a few landings on the coast. Try to take some things, but might be in vain. These fellas right here are just going to carve up Rome. But it's Rome's turn now. What are they going to do? Well, first, whoa. I didn't know, like, I don't know what caused that. The Romans are just going to kick these guys out. Keep invading. They're going to land in Dalmatia. Start attacking. Yep. They're pretty powerful because they're Romans. Of course they are. They have the manpower. They're going to invade Corsica. And at this point, the islanders kind of surrender to the Romans, and the Romans just take what they've occupied, basically. Anyways, as for these guys, they also leave the war because they're also extremely weak, and instead they focus on taking over Africa. They hopefully won't run into the Egyptians for their sakes. There we are. Quite some expansion they've done there. As for the blue boys, they're going to keep fighting. They're going to land over here and take basically all of Corsica. And now they're going to land over here with their basic little marine corps. Maybe do a landing from Corsica. Anyways, the Romans are gonna retaliate, kick them back out. They're gonna keep pushing up Dalmatia. Yep. These guys are gonna take over the Peloponnese because they can. And then at this point, they kind of reach a stalemate and they get bored and stop fighting. And a new puppet state is established right here. Whoa. Okay. New kind of a Greek puppet state is established. They're gonna connect over here. They're sort of Roman puppets, but they're quite autonomous. And then this is given back to the Italians, basically. We have the Greeks now, the Roman Greeks, which is interesting how things play out. And we're going to take over to Athens and Crete. It's been a while since we let the oldies make a move, so let's go ahead and let them do that. There we are. They're basically going to take over the rest of Anatolia. They're not going to quite cross the Bosporus. What did I just do? But they're gonna do they're gonna do some stuff. They're gonna take some more of. Is this Pontus right here? Is that what it's called? I forgot. Yeah. Anyways, the Egyptians are going to annex Israel because they want to, and they've been around for a while, so they've had quite the time to build an army. Anyways, as for the Egyptians, they're going to continue to build their empire over here. Wow. And they're going to take over the rest of Benghazi. Is this Eastern Tripolitania? I guess they've reached quite a roadblock when it comes to inward expansion because you know the big old desert. The Arabian Desert's also quite hard to conquer. Anyways, that's it for the Egyptians. As for the Indians, they're gonna make some territorial expansion as per usual. Oh wow! And let's make some more Indian countries. You know, down in Sri Lanka, there's gonna be a few Indian islanders, I guess, kind of Tamil Kingdom style. They're also gonna take these because they can. You know, we got the Tamil Kings, I guess. And our Thais are going to push down into here, land in northern Sumatra and northwest Borneo. And a few of them are going to, well, take over, I guess, the rest of the southern Indochinese coast. A few of them are going to set sail and they are going to land in the Philippines, of which they will conquer most of. Alrighty, as for China, they are also expanding. Surprisingly not collapsed yet, but this is a different timeline where China doesn't suck. Okay, I did something wrong. Alrighty, and as for the Japanese, they're going to return to Korea, take over the rest of. Is this? It's not It's not Hokkaido. They're gonna land in Sakhalin and start taking these islands. It's been a while since we touched up on the Americans, so I'm gonna give them. Whoops. I'm gonna give them quite an advantage here. Anyways, the southern guys kind of take over and land in Colombia. It's not called that, of course, because these are ancients. They're basically gonna kick these guys out. But oh wait, I forgot to get their color. They're gonna land in Havana. They're basically just gonna take over the Caribbean since they can't go anywhere else, and the light green guys don't really know about it. They've basically taken over the whole Caribbean, even Trinidad, which is good for them. Anyways, even more Mexicans are going to land in the Rio Grande up here and start doing things. You know? Okay, that is very ugly looking. Yep. Even Louisiana is getting taken by these guys. As for the brownies, they've done quite a lot since the last time we saw them. They've yeah, it seems like a reasonable amount of land. They've taken over most of the Rio Plate. Is that what it's called? I don't know. And southern Peru. It's quite a few countries on the map now. All right, back to the Brits. They've taken over the rest of the UK, or Great Britain, and Ireland. And now there's a little bit of separatism inside. So the French boys are going to break away into a new blue country. The Normans and the Bretons. These fellas are just going to go down the coast. Anyways, we have kind of France now. Anyways, the British are also going to continue to collapse into even more countries, like kind of a Scottish Highlands nation up here. Basically all of Scotland, and even Northern Ireland, because Northern Ireland never gets to be part of the rest of Ireland. That's going to cause some controversy later. Alright, these islanders basically just collapse. They have no islands. They have nothing. As for the Tunisians, they've taken the Balearics, and not sure if I'll get them Iberia yet. Anyways, they're gonna form a separate civilization. Let's just kind of land in Spain or Eastern Iberia and take over most of Andalusia and Gibraltar. Hopefully they don't cause any problems later. What else do we need a little more of? Well, let's let Egypt go. It's been a while then. They're almost touched up with the Tunisians, which is not going to be a fun time for both of them. Because the Egyptians do not like infidels. There's a touch over here. Quite the empire the Egyptians have amassed. It would be a real shame if just like just a small portion of it broke away and formed like a southern Arabian nation that kind of just did a little bit of expansion on the southern Arabian coast. Oh hey, that's a thing now. All right, I'll just call these guys the Omanis, I guess. The what's the demonym from Muscat? I don't know, and I don't want to find out. Are these two similar colors? Nah. Okay. Anyways, as for the Chinese, let's do a little bit of casual Chinese collapsing into a few kingdoms. Wow. Anyways, just a minor collapse. Just a few kingdoms are breaking away. Like this one, that one. You know, just the Chinese antics. These are kind of Mongolians, don't you think? Oh wow, that's no, don't take all of it. Share, share with the rest of us, please. Stop. Quit it. Just, just take it, take it. Anyways, these fellas are just gonna expand into what's this region? There's a lot of regions here. Anyways, these fellas are just gonna expand into northern Asia. As for the Japanese, they're gonna take most of Korea, and the rest is Sakhalin. For some reason, Sakhalin's connected to what's this area called? I don't know. And they're gonna land in Yamchatka right here. Oh, Siberia. Let's just call it Siberia. Vladivostok's here. I know that much. Anyways, as for the these fellas, they're just taking it over. Just taking over the rest of this. And call them like the Majapahit, I guess. Yeah. The Indonesians. The Indo-Chinese. Anyways, the Indo-Chinese are doing this. They're doing their things. Their activities. As for the Filipinos, they're taking over some of this. They've landed in Sulawesi and New Guinea. They're just islanders, really. That's a lot of the Asian countries here, islanders. And they've even landed in Taiwan. And I've heard this island's name a million times. They landed in that island under Guangzhou. I know that much. As for the Tamil Kings, they're just gonna take some more land, maybe even have a little border conflict with the Indians. You know, all the way to Bangladesh. Some casual painting here. We haven't seen the Turks move in a little bit. I'm just gonna call them Turks now that they ain't known Israel anymore. They're gonna push into Assyria and maybe even towards Mesopotamia. Let's take them all the way to Mesopotamia. As for the Egyptians, they are going to continue to collapse into even more countries. Can you believe it? The Egyptians collapsing away. How many times have they done that? A few times, maybe. Yes. This is just going to take over the rest of Arabia, I guess. They basically fulfilled all of Egypt's plans for Arabia, except they built in their own empire. Oh, wow. Let's make this red to just symbolize they came from the Egyptians. There you go. I guess these Arabian countries are going to be mostly red. Anyways, as for the Omanis, they're going to continue to push into the Horn of Africa. I bet Egypt's starting to wonder where the hell their land went in the south. You know, looking a little like modern Somalia, too. Anyways, as for the Incas, they're continuing to go undisturbed and just basically taking everything. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Anyways, as for these fellas up here, they basically like that. Okay, that was a terrible whistle. I can't whistle, man. I'm telling you. Oh, whoa. Don't take over the planet, please. They're now pushing to Baja, California, and start doing some antics on the down here. And the rest of us is going to go to the other Mexicans that I don't know what I'm going to call them. The Southern Mexicans, I guess. Maybe push them a little bit. You know, border conflicts, wars, whatever. The whole shebang. These fellows are going to continue to wobble around here just to make it look a little bit more natural. Anyways, as for the Caribbeans, they're just going to push up into Florida. And even Georgia and South Carolina. But of course, those aren't named like that yet. Well, they won't be because they don't have Columbus and Caroline. Anyways, these Incas are just gonna break off and kind of land on Brazil and do their thing. So we'll check up on the Brazilians later. Yeah, they basically taken the whole coast. I'm not sure when the Europeans will discover here, but let's hope it's not anytime soon. As for the Spaniards, they've taken most of Iberia. They're looking a little, what was it? Cordoba? Mm, Crusader Kings? Yeah, they're quite expansive. There's not much religion in this world. They're gonna fight around with the Tunisians. Take a few of the Balearics. Eventually, they get it all because they're big, strong, powerful. All right, built quite a impressive empire there. As for the Franks, they're also going to push into uncharted territories. Don't do that, please. Anyways, these little Frank Empire here is gonna, it's gonna break a little bit into kind of a Dutch nation here. Yeah, I'm basing this a lot on real areas, really. Anyways, is it time for a big war yet? I don't think it's time for a big war yet. Anyways, we have some Scandinavians landing over here because they just exist now. Apparently, they've just emerged out of nowhere. Yeah, they're basically just Danish and southern Sweden. Well, let's build a whole Danish empire here. Yeah, that's cool. And why not we have some extra politics up here? Add some more countries because it's necessary. Add a kind of Norwegian, kind of like Vestfold from Crusader Kings as well. No one talking about. Is this too white? No. Kind of Finnish, Swedish nation here. Add some politics up in Scandinavia because we need that, obviously. These guys are just gonna steal the Baltic coast, really. Nobody likes them. Alright, add some more countries. Yay. A few of these Anatolians are going to break off and go up here. Is that too similar to Egypt? That's too similar to Egypt. They're just gonna be bright red. And they're gonna form a little Crimean nation, I guess. Because we need more countries, so we can have more chaos later. Yeah, there's a little Crimean nation now. As for the rest of us, it's going to be conquered by the. Oh, wow, quite the empire you have there. Can we calm down a little bit? Okay, answer is no. Anyways, there's... Oh, oops, I did it again. Take the rest of that from them. As for the Omani nation, they're just going to continue to invade the African lands. And we're even going to see a few... the red color is getting a little annoying now. There's so many red countries. What can I do? I change their hue just a little. Is that too Brazilian? It's too brown. I don't know what to use. Also, these colors are very similar. Hey, buddy, can you change your color real quick? Ooh, okay. There we are. It's a different, yeah, way different. Anyways, these fellas are going to continue to colonize the Indies all the way to Timor, and the Filipinos are going to continue to colonize New Guinea. Guinea coast. I think we should have some Australian nations. You know, it's too gray. Let's change the color just a little bit. Yeah. This is what Australian Empire is forming. It's a little bit hard for them. It's a little bit hard for them to expand inward because the Great Victoria Desert exists. Yeah, it's cool. As for China, they're going to attempt to expand again, but it's not going to go too well. So, of course, more Chinese are going to break off because it's pretty easy to do. It's pretty easy to break away from China, isn't it? Yeah, just gonna kind of take this from the Filipinos. You know, maybe a little war. We're even gonna take Taiwan from the Philippines. No invaders aren't there. All right, I think we're gonna add one more little country before we leave it here for now. You should think we need to add some like kind of inland tribal nation right here. You know, it's actually been a while since the Venusians have done anything. I realized that. This kind of Cyan nation just formed. As for the Venusian Italian kind of people, they're just gonna expand a bunch into the Balkans. A little, you know, push Greece a little bit. And they're kind of just a Balkan nation now. Alright, well, I think we're gonna leave it there. It's pretty good. Yeah, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 26 countries on this map. So, pretty presentable. We'll continue it next video and maybe have some more conflict, you know, now that we've established a bunch of empires.